fancy my mind wanders back to my youth at just about this time each year, when the snow softly falls and the merry bells ring to welcome the Christmas time cheer in a quaint little town by the side of the sea.
Hey everyone, welcome Richards and non-Richards. This is, if you didn't get that joke, then you didn't listen to episode 1 of this podcast. But this podcast is called The Fancy Hour with Bobby and Elliot. That's actually just a half hour. Your number one spot for intelligent discussion on important topics. I am Bobby.
And I'm Elliot.
Hi, Elliot.
Hi. Today, folks, we are going to be talking about the war on Christmas. Fuck. We'll edit that out.
No, I'm going to keep it. I refuse.
I want to rephrase that.
Yes.
I want to rephrase. Not rephrase, rephrase.
Will you just say it?
Today, today's episode is entitled The War on Christmas. And Bobby and I will be discussing not only the air quotes war on Christmas, but what Christmas means to us individually as people, as Christmas goers, and maybe the story of Christmas as told by Bobby and Elliot.
Yes. It's like a Christmas story, but not like the movie at all.
It's like a Christmas,
good,
yeah,
and actually good.
But one of us will shoot out an eyeball by the end of this recording, just like in that movie.
All right,
so
good.
Stay tuned.
Stay tuned for that.
Keep your radio dials on.
With our red ruby rocket BB.
Whatever the hell it
I've
was.
never seen that movie all the way through. It's
so boring. Come on. It's not boring.
Boring.
That leg lamp he's got, classic.
Wow, hilarious.
Hilarious.
You know everyone who owns that nowadays as a gag gift, and it's like, oh, you remember that movie that nobody's watched but knows the leg lamp from? Yeah.
Have you seen the end of that movie?
I have not.
It's where I'm gonna spoiler alert for all you idiots who haven't seen this movie.
Or James and the Giant Peach alert.
Or James and the Giant Peach alert.
For those who listen to episode 1.
Which is probably nobody, so no one's going to get the joke anyways.
Yeah, right.
At the end of the movie, they ruin the Christmas dinner, and they go to a Chinese restaurant. And I never knew really if this was offensive or not, but the Chinese owners of the restaurant, they're like native Chinese, they speak Chinese, and they have like a Chinese accent. So instead of saying,
I hear they're Chinese.
Yeah, they're Chinese. Can you believe that? So when they're singing carols to the family,
yeah,
and they're saying, la 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 la,
yeah.
But they say, what is it? They say fa ra 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 ra.
Wow.
And that's the ending joke of the movie.
Wow.
And it's kind of funny, but now that I think about it, it's
incredibly racist.
Do you think that's offensive towards Chinese Americans?
I think a little bit.
You think so?
But then again, this film was made in what, 1820?
I believe so.
So
I believe IMDb did say 1820.
You can get away with like anything in 1820
That's
films.
True.
The Marx Brothers got away with like everything.
That's true.
So the Christmas Story, or A Christmas Story, the Rise of the Christmas Story,
the Rise of the Planet of the Christmas Story.
Yes.
You're right. I suppose so. I've always wondered about that, and by always I mean about 2 minutes ago we started talking about it.
It's a good topic.
Always is a relative term.
Do you want a whole episode dedicated to the war on the Christmas Story?
I don't know. That's a topic for another podcast.
Okay.
The war on whether or not we should do an episode called "War on the Christmas Story."
That would be extremely boring.
Well,
right, Richard?
Right, Richard. He's probably stopped listening by now.
Probably never even started.
By the way, Merry Christmas, everyone.
Merry non-denominational holiday.
Merry holiday.
Merry Hanukkah, Kwanzaa, Christmas.
Well,
Jesus' birthday.
Hanukkah will be over by Christmas time, and Kwanzaa does not start until the day after Christmas.
Thankfully, I have my calendar right here. Kwanzaa happens the day after Christmas?
It starts the day after Christmas.
Can you, Elliot, what do you know about Kwanzaa?
I know that they use candles reminiscent of a menorah from the Jewish holiday Hanukkah, which means Festival of Lights.
Wow, good.
But I do know that I believe it was made up. It is not a... No, I'm serious. I believe some man, I don't know who, he said, I want to celebrate my African heritage Kwanzaa. I think.
Sure.
I'm not really sure.
Yeah, okay.
I choose to remain
So you
ignorant.
think this guy is just like, I want to celebrate my African Americanness. Well, African heritage. It doesn't have to be American. You can be African. Is there African British?
I'm sure there is. I'm sure there's plenty.
Because I'm sure, but do they call themselves African?
I am not an expert on British society, so I can't be certain.
Anyway, so you think this guy, let's call him John, was like, man, I want to celebrate my Africanness. I'm just gonna make a holiday.
Would you like me to look it up, Bobby?
No, not really.
Okay, well then we choose to remain ignorant on that topic.
But,
Besides, this is not the war on Kwanzaa. Okay?
no, this is the war on Christmas.
Yeah.
So let's get back to that.
Finally. So
what do you think about Christmas, Elliot?
Christmas. Let me tell you something about Christmas. Let me tell you something.
Please tell me.
Okay, I enjoy Christmas. All right.
Okay.
I celebrated it for as long as I've lived.
Okay.
We have a great Christmas tree in my parents' house.
Yes.
Multitudes of wrapped gifts, stockings above the fireplace. Multitudes.
Okay.
Cookies for Santa. Cookies for me.
As Santa?
Because I enter the house through our chimney.
Okay.
That's how I.
Because your parents don't let you live.
My parents don't often let me live in my house, so I don't spend a lot of time there.
So really, Christmas is your day that you get to sneak into the house, and it's the one day of the year where they let you stay in the house.
And they feed me as well.
Wow.
They feed me cookies.
Yeah.
For Santa, he comes before, and then I come in.
Santa Elliot.
Anyways, I was telling you about Christmas. So you know, here's the thing that really grinds my gears, that really peels my carrots, that really mashes my potatoes.
Keep going.
That really folds my laundry. That really binds my books.
Okay, you can go.
That really just staples my papers. Okay.
Okay.
We'll get up early in the morning. The ass crack at 9 o'clock, and so we'll be family and open some gifts. But my mom always invites other relatives over, and I'm very uncomfortable opening presents in front of others.
In the presence of others.
That was practically a Christmas gift. That joke was a Christmas gift from you to me.
Merry Christmas.
Thank you, Bobby.
Merry holiday.
Happy Christmas.
We can't just stick to one because it'll alienate the non-Richards that don't celebrate.
You're right. Happy holidays.
Happy holiday.
Anyway. So I'm uncomfortable with that.
Okay.
So I often like to get up early before they show up so I know my gifts. You know, because I don't like people watching me. A large group of people watching me open things, like birthday parties.
Yeah.
I don't open gifts in front of people.
Yeah, it's so awkward because people think they buy you the greatest gift ever, and they're like anticipating your face when you open it, and they're like, man, I really hope Elliot loves this Red Ranger action figure, and then you open it, and then their anticipation is so up that when you open it and you're just like, wow, thanks, they just get like no fucking way, he didn't like my gift. So it's a lot of pressure. Oh wow, I'm gonna edit out that cough.
Okay, please do.
But it's a lot of pressure opening gifts.
I agree. Life's hard when people give you things for free.
Wow.
Life's hard.
Man, whoever thought that getting things that people think we want would be so hard.
So difficult.
So difficult. Man, it's so hard.
You know, who'd have thought that I'd be at my parents' house in my warm bed, my warm clothes.
Safe and
secure, and I'm complaining about receiving things from my parents who love and support me.
Hey, this is it's all right. First world problems.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But
anyway, back to the awkwardness opening.
Yeah,
presents.
so that's a thing. But my mom, whatever. I can deal with that.
Yeah.
Christmas as a whole, as a Christmas season.
Yes.
I believe Christmas season starts in late July.
Yes.
And ends Christmas Day.
I think it starts like the day after Independence Day. So July 5th.
July 5th.
The 5th of July is
people start putting their Christmas trees up. July 5th.
And hanging their traditional Christmas fireworks.
Yes, you're right. And
yes.
so I think in the future, Christmas will overtake every holiday. And so you'll have your Christmas pumpkin, where you get your Christmas candy, you
Yes.
dress up in your Christmas costume.
Yeah.
And then Christmas giving, you have your Christmas turkey and your Christmas cranberry sauce,
Oh.
your Christmas, and it's all about the true, giving thanks. And then Valentine's Day will be Christmas Day. Actually, it's already taken.
Christmas Day.
That's already taken. It'll be Christmas Time Day.
Chris Fallon.
Chris Fallon. Jimmy Fallon Day.
Oh God, I hate Jimmy Fallon.
Why do you hate Jimmy Fallon?
I do not like him because he's not funny. That's why I don't
I think
like
he's
him.
a funny man.
Are we really going to be continuing doing a podcast together if you're going to say statements like that?
Listen, Bobby, we can have. That's the whole point of this discussion is that we have different opinions.
Oh, it's great. It's great radio. Great
Mm-hmm.
talk. Anyway, can we? Jimmy Fallon's another podcast.
You're right. The war on Bobby's opinions on Jimmy Fallon.
Yes, the war on Christmas. So Christmas is going to take over every holiday.
Yes, I believe so.
Okay.
And
so we'll take over like your birthday. So
Yeah.
it'll be like Chris' birthday.
Chris' birthday, not to be confused with Chris's birthday.
If somebody's named Chris it's the day's named after them.
Chris birthday.
Chris.
Chris is, and that's even worse for the New Jersey governor, Chris Christie.
Wow.
Chris Christie's birthday.
Well, can I just take a moment to marvel in the fact that you know the governor of New Jersey?
Well, Bobby, if you pay attention to the news, you would too. Because
I would.
Of the hurricane, the superstorm Sandy.
Oh yeah, Superstorm.
He was he was a big figure in that because he was the governor of New Jersey, and he's
I would watch the news, but it keeps changing, and it's super depressing.
Wow, is that a joke from your great grandfather?
First of all, it's a joke from Martin Lawrence, and yes, my great grandfather.
So Martin Lawrence is your great grandfather.
Yes.
I was not aware he was old enough to be anyone's great grandfather, let alone a grandfather.
Well, he is, Elliot. What do you have against?
That's interesting.
What's wrong with that?
Well, I have nothing against Martin Lawrence at all. I find
He's a great actor. He was in Shrek as the donkey. He was in Norbit as Norbit. He was in that movie with Owen Wilson, I Spy.
He was in Doctor Dolittle 1.
He was,
and
he was the Nutty Professor in the Nutty Professor.
Dr.
So
Dolittle.
Martin Lawrence is just a terrific actor all around.
Dr. Dolittle 2, the Squeakquel, right?
The Squeakquel, yes.
That's interesting that you are a Martin Lawrence fan.
Yes, I love everything Martin Lawrence, especially Nutty Professor 2, The Clumps. Arguably the greatest film ever created by man.
I think that's what Stanley Kubrick would say. I think that's what Steven Spielberg says.
Yes. I believe they all agree that.
I believe Jesus said
Wow.
that as well.
He said that.
He said The Clumps is better than Passion of the Christ, a movie that stars him.
He said, and I quote, Jesus Christ said this.
Okay.
The Nutty Professor 2, The Clumps, is the tits, is what he said, quote unquote.
Yeah?
Yeah. I'm sorry to anybody that's religious.
Yeah, me too, I guess.
Not really, then.
Listen, you know what I've always wondered?
Yeah.
Is,
Tell me, Elliot, what have you always wanted?
When did Hanukkah start? When did people begin celebrating Hanukkah? Did Jesus celebrate Hanukkah with his mommy and daddy?
Well, the tale is like the oil lasted like 400 days or something, and it was only supposed to last like 3 or something.
That
like
would mean Hanukkah took place for over a year.
Yeah. Or,
It's a
I
lot.
guess it only lasted 9 days or 10 days. Or
8 days.
8 days?
God almighty.
Oh, because of Adam Sandler's 8 Crazy Nights. Arguably
Yeah.
the second greatest film next to Nutty Professor 2, The Rise of the Nutty Professor. So
All right,
8 days.
Yeah, right.
8 days of Hanukkah, 8 days of the oil lasting
Yeah.
8 days.
But did that occur in the
was-
Old Testament
was-
before Jesus was
I don't know.
planted in Mary's womb?
I honestly don't. Damn it, this is war on Christmas, not Hanukkah.
No, I just wanted to make a point that do you suppose Jesus, if they'd celebrate Hanukkah, imagine his mother was like, "Oh, Jesus, come over and light the candle,"
And yeah,
and Jesus was like, "God, Mom,
I wanna.
oh what? Leave me alone."
Because Jesus was like a surfer dude, like
Yeah.
a surfer child.
I believe he was.
Oh no, Mom.
He was like Bill and Ted.
So Jesus is, which one was he? Or was he both of them combined into
I think
one?
he might have been both. You know.
So if Bill and Ted traveled back in time and met Jesus, they'd be like, "Whoa, it's like both of us mixed."
They would hang out.
They would hang out so hard.
I don't understand why in Bill and Ted's Excellent Adventure they didn't go back to get Jesus. He could have Jesus could have just. This is the plot hole of the century right now.
Okay, please tell me.
Bill and Ted were about to fail their class, and they needed to. They would fail out of college, and Keanu Reeves would be sent to military school. I don't know what happened to the other guy or whatever. Who cares?
Yeah.
So they go back in time. They get all those historical figures, and they create a magnificent project.
Glorious. Even.
With many hilarious hijinks along the way.
Yeah, like the mall.
Like the mall.
They go to the mall. That's
Napoleon goes to Waterloo, the theme park.
Yeah. Anyway.
Anyways, if Bill and Ted had just gone back in time to Israel 2,000-ish years ago, it would have been, "Hey, Jesus, come here." And he'd been like, "Okay." And he would have said, "Listen."
Can we just relish in the fact that Jesus is like, "Okay, I will come with you."
I mean, he probably didn't have anything better to do. So he was like, "God, I'm so tired of turning water into wine.
I am so tired of doing this whole fish and bread thing."
Yeah, like, it gets old. Come on, people.
Geez, so many, like, after that one time, I'm sure every fucking day they're like, "Jesus, can you make us some fish and bread?"
Jesus, I'm out of wine. I got some water, though.
Please help.
Yeah.
But Jesus, I'm sure Jesus was getting pissed off.
You know what Jesus should have done?
What?
For people he didn't like?
Yeah.
He should have turned the water in their bodies into wine.
Wow.
You're like, what, 70% water?
Wow. So, like...
Imagine what would happen if he was like, "Fuck you," and they just turn into wine.
So, are you saying that the people's blood alcohol level would become 100%?
And they would probably
alcohol.
just die instantly, is what I'm guessing.
I'd assume that that'd, like, burn up their whole system.
Their saliva would turn into... They probably would just catch on fire. I don't really know anything about science. But
I know everything about science, and that is 100% factual. So...
Right, Richard?
Right, Richard? Anyway.
So anyways, Bill and Ted are like, "Hey, Jesus, come along." And he'd be like, "Okay." And so he gets in their time machine, and they fly through time, and he comes back, and they're like, "Jesus, you are God's son. You have all the abilities, the powers of God himself. Why not just give me a fucking A on this project?"
Wow. Yeah.
And Jesus would have been like, "All right, sure. I mean, whatever."
If Bill and Ted had all these powers, why don't you just go back in time and get Superman, and then get Superman to go around the world a couple times, turn time back, and then Ted or Bill or whoever's failing could have done better in class. Huh?
Are you saying that Superman is better than Jesus?
I'm saying Superman is. I don't know. I don't know what I was trying to say.
Because if Superman were in a fight with Jesus Christ, who's supposed to win? Because Jesus Christ, as a man, was not probably very physically intimidating.
He was a pacifist.
He
would pass your fist away from him as he decked you in the face.
That's good. Because they say that I read that people back in that time period were a lot shorter than people now. You would be some sort of giant.
I would be
freak.
I was Goliath. Back then,
you were
in the
Goliath.
Story.
In fact, Bill, and that's how you die. Spoiler alert for your life. Is that you go back in time and become Goliath. Yeah, and they knock you in the head, and you're like, "Oh my
God."
Anyway,
so
I read that Caesar was like Julius Caesar was like 5 foot tall. So Jesus was probably very similar height.
Okay.
So if Jesus is say maybe 5'1", 5'2", Superman is like 6'3", 600 inches tall, and
Sure.
Jesus would have been like, "I'm gonna pass your fist." And Superman would like burn lasers into his skull.
So we're saying Jesus that Superman wins.
Well, if they were in a physical fight, but Jesus is the creator of the universe. He could make Superman disappear.
I think
out of existence.
Jesus did not create the universe. For one,
God
did.
God is Jesus.
He's the Son of God.
But Jesus is God, so he is his own father. He's like Fry in Futurama.
Listen. Please hear me out.
I will hear you out.
Jesus is like Hercules. Okay. Soak that up.
Okay.
He was a baby that was stolen by Hades and brought to Earth by Bobcat Bolthwaite or whatever the guy's name is.
Yeah.
And he was brought down to Earth and He had his powers drained a little bit, but he had a little bit of power left.
Jesus puts the Glad in Gladiator.
He does put the Glad in Gladiator.
Okay.
And he is Hunky Jesus, and not Hercules. Why are we... This Jesus talk is making me feel uncomfortable.
Okay, let's bring it around.
Let's bring it right back around town. Because, religious talk just makes anybody uncomfortable.
You're right. I'm sorry, Richard, and others.
Sorry, Richards and non-Richards.
Let's get it back. Okay, so I think, to sum up that point, Jesus was winning a fight against Superman.
Okay, can I just put one last little pin up?
All right, Mr. I'm uncomfortable.
Jesus would resurrect himself after every time Superman would kill him.
And Superman would eventually die of old age, because the fight would continuously go on and on and on.
Superman. If we gotta go into that, then Superman came back from the dead technically a couple times. Anyway, so
Christmas. Yeah. Let's talk about another very important facet. Let's face Christmas. Let's face it, Christmas.
Yeah.
Santa Claus.
Yes.
Santa Claus is an important part of Christmas.
Do you remember what Santa Claus looked like before Coca-Cola took him up and fattened him up and put him red and made him have a beard and stuff like that?
Unfortunately, I was not alive in the 1920s. So
I know, right? I really want to know, I just wanted to see...
I imagine he I don't know.
I think... I'm going away from this. But Santa is a marketer's dream. Because I passed by a billboard when taking my dad to the airport. Or he was driving, so he was taking me to the airport. But... but I saw a billboard that said, some radio station, like 97.3.
Yeah.
Santa listens, and has a picture of Santa, and he's, thumbs-upping.
Yeah.
So Santa is... You can say whatever the hell you want, and Santa can do it. And, Santa jet skis? Yeah! Totally.
That's true.
So you can sell... Oh, my God. You can sell anything, You have a picture... Just a picture of Santa smiling. And then in the corner will be, butt plugs on sale. And then everybody would be like, Santa uses butt plugs? Wow, my phone's going off.
Let's pause. Okay. Cut. Okay.
We're back. I had to...
Poop.
Anyway, so Santa could be... what was I talking about? Butt plugs. Santa could advertise the shit out of butt plugs. Literally.
Santa listens.
Santa wears them.
Recording?
Now I'm recording.
Oh, okay. I'm starting the timer.
Anyway, we might as well just move on. I don't remember what we were talking about
either. Bobby had to poop again.
But I had to poop again, and we just had to take a little bit of a break. So we're back.
Yeah.
And we're talking about Christmas.
We got a little sidetracked with many things.
Yes.
We're
on Santa.
Santa Claus.
Santa.
Yes, Santa Claus.
Saint Claude.
Saint Claude is his real name. So, Saint Claude, I believe Santa was born in
1492.
1492.
In a log cabin.
Sailed the ocean log cabin. He sailed across the ocean in a log cabin in 1492.
Where were you going with this point before I interrupted you, Elliot?
I don't recall. I'm glad you interrupted me.
Okay, good. Because Santa was born in 1492 as he sailed the ocean blue.
In a log cabin. And I believe he was raised by wolves.
And every week he has to solve a new mystery, and then he leaps to another situation where he has to solve that mystery.
That sounds like the basis of a fantastic television show.
Magnum P.I., right? My favorite. Anyway.
The adventures of Santa, and, I think it would be a prequel series to how Santa becomes Santa. He'd be played by a young hunk.
Joseph Gordon-Levitt.
Joseph Gordon-Levitt. And Mrs. Claus, she wouldn't be Mrs. Claus yet.
No.
She would be... I've just made television gold.
Okay.
So
please tell me.
There's Santa Claus.
Okay.
His name is Santa Claus.
Yes.
A young hothead.
I get it.
And the woman.
Oh yeah.
They don't get along.
Go on.
They don't get along at first.
They don't.
They're very antagonistic towards each other.
Okay.
He's very cocky, and she's having none of it.
Okay.
And so they don't like each other, but they're forced to work together.
Yes.
And over time, over seasons, they begin a sweet romance. and it's unlike anything ever seen on television.
Okay. Ever. Okay. And what would the show be called?
It'd be called The New Adventures of Santa Claus and Untitled Lady Friend.
I want to call it Claus and Company.
Okay, all right. So Claus and Company. Let's create the ensemble.
Joseph Gordon-Levitt is a young Santa Claus.
As a young hip, because you know how they do all those dark fairy tale reimaginings.
Yeah.
This is a lighthearted reimagining.
Joseph Gordon-Levitt is a young, hip, hot-headed
Santa Claus. He solved mysteries in New York City.
Whoa! That is too original. Reel it back.
You're right. Okay, he solves mysteries in space sometimes.
Colorado.
In Colorado.
No! You said it. You can't go back. Space.
He solves space mysteries.
Okay.
He lives.
Is he a space cop?
He's a space cop.
Okay.
He lives on the moon with his dog. Not his dog. Not his dog. With his reindeer, Rudolph. Brilliant.
Okay, so he's a space cop.
He's a space cop.
Santa the space cop.
Santa the space cop. And Mrs. Claus. She doesn't really have a first name, does she?
No.
Or a maiden name.
No.
Who was Mrs. Claus before she became Mrs. Claus?
I think the Santa Claus 2, starring Tim Allen, told us who that was.
I never saw that movie.
She was a high school teacher that Tim Allen betrothed and made into the overweight Mrs. Claus, and
she became fat in that movie.
At the end, they got married, and then during the credits, you know how they have like footage and like, this is funny. So like they had her in a fat suit and like dancing to the music, and then they made the Santa Claus 3, and then she was skinny again.
Oh, because that actress was like, I don't want to be fat.
I don't want to be fat. I want to be Santa Claus.
All right. Well, what part of lighthearted reimagining did you not understand? Because we're clearly not going off of that mythology. Okay.
Okay.
So she's clearly another hot. She's a by the books.
She's a cool head.
By the books space cop.
Yeah.
And they're teamed up together.
Can we have JGL as Santa Claus?
Yeah.
Can this be like he's in a lot of trouble? So his police chief, Dasher. His police chief Dasher.
His police chief is a reindeer.
Is a reindeer. Okay. So his police chief Dasher.
The reindeer
is like, damn it, Claus! If you fuck up one more case, I'm gonna fire you. I don't know why I haven't fired you yet because he's fucked up so much. Yeah. So
he doesn't play by the books.
Police chief Dasher, I guess he like blew up a planet or something. That's what he did last time. So he teams him up with Mrs. Claus, played by
Queen Latifah. Played by Queen Latifah. Okay.
So
and she's a cool head.
Are both of their last names Claus?
Well, no.
Well, why not? Because that would be Claus and Company.
Claus.
But they're not related.
How about?
Okay,
listen to me.
Okay.
Listen to me.
I'm listening.
The company part is like Dasher, the police chief reindeer, the space reindeer.
Okay.
Is like, you're a hothead. I'm giving you one last shot, and he puts him on a special task force.
Ooh.
So Claus and Company is the name of his special task. It's like Law and Order, Santa and Company.
Okay.
You know how they have different Law and Order things.
So Law of Order SAC.
Yeah.
Law of Order SAC.
Santa and Company.
Okay.
Exactly. Not affiliated with Law and Order.
I can already tell the porno reimagining of this.
Oh, okay.
Santa and Company.
I apologize to any of Bobby's family that's listening.
Hi, Nana, I love you. Anyway.
So there's her.
Yeah.
Queen Latifah. And then there needs to be maybe an elf.
Ooh, can he be... I imagine him to be like the butler in Fresh Prince of Bel-Air.
Yes.
Can he be exactly that actor?
Yes.
Good, because he's the perfect one.
Yes.
And he doesn't have... What has he done since Fresh Prince of Bel-Air?
I think he probably recreates episodes in his house.
Of course.
And he has his children play the other actor.
No, he doesn't have children. So he just has like brooms that he like put clothes on.
Puts a picture.
It's like Master William.
So he could play the elf.
He can play the elf. Who? What does the elf do?
He's maybe he's some sort of tech expert, because
I was
elves
just going that way.
Build things.
He's like the computer expert who like whenever Claus and Queen Latifah are like breaking into like a building, he's the one that's behind, like going, if you take a left here, then you will avoid the candy puppies or something.
The candy puppies, those are dangerous in space.
Yes.
So okay, so that's 3.
Yeah.
Who would be
what? Chief Dasher is the police chief. Police chief.
He's the police chief.
So
he has his own line of police cheeses.
Yeah, of course.
The police cheese. Okay, that's a side. That's a plot. That's a side plot. Yeah.
Can we have like his son?
Santa Claus's son?
Dasher Jr.
Oh, Dasher Jr.
Yes.
So we have JGL. We have Queen Latifah. Queen Latifah's.
We have the Queen Latifah's.
Clean your teethas. Queen Latifah says, "Clean your teeth." That's funny.
Santa listens.
Are you listening, Queen Latifah? That's a good one.
Are you listening? You better use that. The elf, who is played by the butler,
the guy from
Jeffrey Butler. And then that's the character's name. That's his literal name.
I know.
Jeffrey Butler. Then you have Dasher Jr., who is played by
a reindeer.
All out of left field.
Okay.
It's going to be played by a reindeer, but it's going to be dubbed over by. Can we have a goofy character, and I want him to sound like Don Knotts?
Yeah, we can. In fact, what we should do is all of Dasher Jr.'s dialogue should just be dialogue from the Andy Griffith Show.
Yeah,
reworked.
Oh, this is perfect.
And so he'd be like, "Santa, look out," and it'd be like, "Santa, look out,"
Or maybe he could be the dumb one, and he just calls everybody Andy. So he'll be like, "Andy, where's my bullet?" And then they'll be like, "You can't have bullets, Dasher Jr. Sorry."
So Dasher Sr. obviously put him on the team to hope to toughen him up.
Yes, and make him smarter.
Okay.
Because he's a dumb shit.
Now here's a question for you.
Okay, I got an answer for you.
Before we said that JGL would his pet reindeer Rudolph. Now I think he clearly, if reindeers can talk in space.
Yes.
He clearly can't have. Reindeers can only talk when they're in space.
Okay.
He clearly cannot have a pet reindeer.
Okay.
So.
Well, it's kind of like the whole Goofy Pluto thing, because Mickey owns a dog, Pluto, and Goofy is a dog.
All right.
But I never understood that, and that always pissed me off. So maybe
Rudolph should be some sort of sidekick, some hot shot. No, not even a hot. He's just a kid. Okay.
Scrappy Doo from Scooby Doo.
Yes.
So he will be the Scrappy Doo character.
Will all of his dialogue be from Scrappy Doo as well?
No, it'll be completely fresh, but he'll have the same character. So it'll be like reindeer power. And he'll just like run into situations, and then he'll explode or something, and then it'll be like, I did something wrong, and then that, like Scrappy Doo did.
Okay.
Can we one more? Let's do a female lead character.
Yeah, that's right. We need another one.
Female elf. That's actually like an actual sized elf, because you don't see any female elves.
That's true. What's going on? What's going on there?
Let's have her played by Mila Kunis.
Mila Kunis,
because she's in everything as well.
You're right.
So,
is that? Do I smell a love triangle?
No. Even better.
Okay.
It's not a female character.
Okay.
It's Woody Harrelson, dressed up as a female.
So he plays a female character.
Yes, but it's still Woody Harrelson.
And so people would say, Bobby and Elliot, why did you cast a much older male actor to play a young female character? And we'll say, well, he was the best. He was the best fit. He was the best for the part.
Yeah.
Okay.
So, do we want this Woody Harrelson character to be self-aware that he's a man?
No.
Good.
And then I want.
We're on the same page.
Then I want a love triangle between Queen Latifah, Woody Harrelson, and JGL.
Wow.
And it'll be heated.
Yeah. Yeah. Okay. CW, you listening?
You
Because
listening?
you're the only station that'll probably play this.
Yeah.
You play the Vampire Diaries every fucking 5 minutes, so you might as well play this. One Tree Shit.
One Tree.
More like it.
One Tree Shit. You're right. I can't wait for our names to be put on this. You know, created by Bobby and Elliot.
Executive producers.
Bobby and Elliot.
Bobby and Elliot.
Written by Bobby and Elliot.
Written by, starring in the background of every episode, Bobby and Elliot.
We could do the voice over narration.
Ooh.
Case file.
Yes.
4352. The case of the something.
Come on.
The
Come on. Come on.
The case of the
the double rape homicide.
the case of the rise of the Planet of the Apes.
The case of the candy cane caper.
The candy
How does that sound?
You came up with that in a second.
It took you a stumbling 3 minutes to come up with the rise of the Planet of the Apes or whatever you
The
said.
rise of the Planet of the Apes. Santa and Company visit the rise of the Planet of the Apes.
I don't see why not. They're space people. Okay.
And at the end of the series, after it would run for 35 seasons, each with 40 episodes,
Ooh. Yes.
he would, as JGL became older, he would grow fatter.
Okay.
And at the end, he would save an orphanage full of children, and he would say, "Man, I really just like making these kids happy."
Yeah.
And so he'd devote his life. He'd retire from the police, from the space cop police.
Space cop.
That's the name of it.
Space cop. Police.
And he would recruit all his reindeer pals.
Yes.
He'd actually enslave them.
Space cop. Police.
You know, and
I'm sorry. Can we just go back to that? And
Yeah.
So, do you call like officers, like the Orlando police cop officers?
Oh, what of it?
Anyway, continue. Continue.
You know, cop is actually an acronym, technically.
Citizen on patrol, isn't it?
Constable, I thought.
Constable. Oh. Well, there is a citizen on patrol, which is like.
But I didn't know that until recently.
Yeah.
Anyways, maybe we should bring it. We should bring it around town. It's nearly that time.
What the hell? Oh man, we've been talking for so long about nothing.
So Christmas. Christmas. It.
Final remarks.
What is your final remarks on Christmas?
I did not get to say anything about Christmas. To be completely honest.
Yeah.
So Christmas is fun.
Yeah.
It's awkward to open presents.
Yes.
You get to see those family members that you never see.
Yeah. Correct.
Good.
Yeah.
That's good.
I guess.
It's going to slowly envelop the rest of every other holiday.
Yeah.
So Christmas Day is going to be great for Chris's.
Okay.
Yeah, it's just a good day. Do you have any closing remarks you want to say about Christmas?
I kind of agree, I believe.
Wow, how original, Elliot.
I think Christmas is a delightful holiday. It's about the spirit of giving, about family and being close together, and loving your loved ones and your friends, and showing how much you care for them. And it's about candy as well.
You know what? I'm gonna take mine back. I'm gonna say Christmas sucks.
Oh,
because you like it. I'm just gonna.
All right.
I want to have different views.
Okay.
Buying presents is a hassle.
It's a hassle.
Black Friday is probably the worst day ever.
Yeah.
Invented by man.
Yeah.
Except for Doomsday.
Right.
So like Black Friday fucking is terrible.
Okay.
People die. Because they get trampled and they want large flat screen TVs when you can just wait a couple days and spend $100 more. You dicks. Stop killing people over fucking TVs and robbing people. Ugh! Black Friday. That's a part of Christmas.
Yeah.
Eating good food.
Yeah.
Is fattening.
That's true.
It's horrible.
It's bad for you.
Seeing beloved family members and then they have to go back to their state that they're from is horrible because then you cry afterwards because you're going to miss them. Then you have to wait till next Christmas.
You just wish they never existed so you wouldn't feel so sad.
So you wish they weren't a part of your heart because then when they left you wouldn't have a chunk of your heart missing.
You wouldn't be broken.
So I think those are good arguments as to why Christmas sucks.
You're right. I mean, well, that's your opinion. I differ.
Okay.
I differ.
Okay. That was good. That was great. I like that.
That was well worded, Bobby.
Thank you.
I think Richard probably agrees, right, Richard?
Richard's very quiet. Wouldn't it just be weird if we said it and then he just walks to the door and he's like, shut up?
Yeah. That's such
part of listening.
Such a Richard thing to do.
Because
Just Richard being Richard.
Yeah, because we're gonna get to live broadcasting.
Yes.
Of this podcast.
Yes.
And that's gonna be great. And it's gonna be video streaming, so we can't podcast in the nude anymore. So that's gonna be a bit of a paradigm shift.
Yeah,
from what we do now.
For sure.
Podcasting in clothes is gonna be probably the biggest, weirdest thing that's ever gonna happen.
I agree.
So
I suppose we'll wrap it up, huh?
What? Just like last time?
Yeah.
I want you to come up with an ending catchphrase.
Well...
And you don't use Gandhi this time.
I won't use Gandhi.
Okay.
I thought of a catchphrase.
Please do.
I thought of... This catchphrase works not only for us, but for Santa, for Claus and Company.
Okay, Claus and Company, yes.
So, at the end of every episode, when the case is solved, he would stand over whatever, and he'd say, "Looks like this case has been claused," and he'd put sunglasses on and he'd walk out of the frame.
You mean his space glasses?
Space glasses.
So, this has been the Fancy Hour with Bobby and Elliot. That's actually just been a half hour, and you've just been claused. I've been Bobby.
And I'm Elliot. I've never been Bobby.
Yeah, you haven't. And thank you for listening.
What happiness Christmas would bring, where friends rare as diamonds contented would be, to dance and to laugh and to sing. It was coming to my